Building a product career without understanding your customers is like being a master chef who's never tasted their own food. You might have all the right techniques, the best ingredients, and the most expensive equipment, but you'll never create dishes that people truly crave. Hi, I'm Ross Webb, and after leading product teams at Amazon and Just Eat and many others, I've discovered that product leaders who fail to really master voice of the customer often watch their careers simmer instead of soar. And today, some exceptional product leaders are going to be revealing how they've turned customer understanding into the secret ingredient for career success. Now, this episode is brought to you by Product Board, the leading product management platform trusted by customer-centric organizations like Zoom, Salesforce, and Autodesk. And for over a decade, Product Board has helped product leaders build the right products faster by mastering the voice of customer. And their end-to-end platform seamlessly connects every stage of product development, from gathering customer insights to planning roadmaps and aligning stakeholders, all in one source of truth. And now with Product Board Pulse, the new voice of the customer solution, you can leverage AI to analyze customer feedback trends and accelerate your product career through data-driven decisions. To hear how the head of product operations at Relativity uses Product Board to make sense of their customer feedback, check out the webinar linked in the description below. Now, let's start with the awesome Phil Hornby, who's turned voice of the customer into a powerful recipe for executive influence. Phil, what are your thoughts?
Fundamentally, voice of the customer, it's hard, right? It's hard because of that volume of data. The product manager is the store of all those different angles and sources of information, trying to synthesize them. He's trying to do that mental stacking up and prioritization at the level before we get into things in Jira or wherever else it is. We're almost like the mental Rolodex of all those different data sources and all those different data points. And frankly, humans ain't that good at huge amounts of data and actually being accurate, which is where tools have that promise of we can take it all. And especially nowadays with AI on the rise, I use AI tools all day, every day. I save hours every day in my coaching practice, working with different data sets. Now imagine you're doing that in a product team. You've got 15, 20 product managers doing discovery interviews once, twice a week, getting into one person's head. Now we've got all those other 19 product managers who haven't heard it. How do we take that information and bring it into a common data set that everyone can look at and find the insights across the board? That's one of the biggest challenges. That's just the discovery interviews. Never mind when we start bringing the other sources like support and sales, customer success, etc. What people are saying on social media. The weight of data to go into gaining insights is going through the roof. So tools and AI as a core in that at the moment seem to be promising. They're not going to give you the answer out of the box. They're going to give you information that you can then start to make decisions on. I'm a big fan of that actual fact of applying 3 lenses when it comes to any of these things. You've got the data, the anecdotes, and we're trying to take some of those anecdotes maybe from discovery and make it a bit more quantifiable through tool. But you also got your intuition. There's still a very human element of understanding our customer, our market, and kind of that empathy that we build up. I mean, so that approach of using customer advisory board is a super powerful way of gathering your voice of customer. And it's something that I've used many times. At Trimble, back in the day, we used to do our own conference twice a year. 2,000 people in Vegas, 200 from my division, 20 of my key core customers. And we take them in the back room, have an in-depth conversation, usually centered around the roadmap. They'd also bring their roadmaps. So we talk about what direction are you going in? What direction are we going in? These are large organizations. They're like tankers. They're going in a direction. Hopefully they're going in a parallel path, which means it's a great fit. If they're veering off, then it becomes a bad fit. Or if we're the supplier, maybe we need to understand, well, actually, everybody else in the fleet, all the customers, are going this direction. Maybe we need to start steering a different direction, taking that voice of customer. Now, some things just take a long time to do. Sometimes you can't just turn around on a pin. But being able to take the customer input, the voice of the input, and the user input as well, it's subtly separated customer and user, particularly in B2B, B2B2C, there can be distinct groups. taking that voice and using it to steer, like a roadmap shouldn't be a fixed plan. A roadmap is a communication and alignment tool. It's about getting us all going in the same direction and knowing which direction we're going in. And sometimes in the customer context, knowing they're on the same path as us, so we can make those sensible choices. The principles of saying we're going to learn as we go, we're going to adjust direction as we learn, that's fundamentally valuable. And if we apply the core principles instead of necessarily a fixed methodology, then it can be really powerful. Like if you look at most of the businesses that you'd say are great product companies, they probably apply something closer to a Kanban methodology. They don't call it Kanban, but it's like that. We've got a list of things we're going to do. We're going to pick the most important thing and we'll find something new.
Now, Phil just mentioned how we can use AI to save hours every day. And that's why I think Product Board Pulse can be a game changer for product teams. Not only does it centralize your feedback from every source, it uncovers important themes and trends using AI that can validate your intuition and support that intuition with data, just as Phil recommended. And because Pulse is connected to the Product Board platform, which many use as their backlog and source of truth, it's easy to act on those new insights. While Phil shows us how to create the perfect blend of customer insights and executive leadership, Philipp Katzenstein reveals how to get your whole team involved in the product tasting process. Philipp, over to you.
Usually what I found pretty nice and something I did now for internal users is I ask one of the product owners, product developers, to also perform interviews and create a bit of a persona who our end user is. And nevertheless, what I also always suggest is, let's say, have bi-weekly or weekly check-ins to give prioritization besides what is happening in a sprint review. And what I also think is really getting feedback, that you are sure that your feedback is heard. For external users, you might have gadgets in your interface to gather feedback. For internal users, they do send out surveys. So I think it's a bit these three parts. So on one part, you have the sprint review. Other part is finding mechanisms to gather feedback, making it maybe a bit less official, but more as a routine. And the last one is just ad hoc sessions to validate from time to time who your user is and that you can build products to serve their needs.
And now that we've seen how to get our team sampling customer feedback, the brilliant Justine Salter is going to be showing us how to serve it up to even the most skeptical stakeholders.
Well, I think that's part of managing that expectation, right? So I think first and foremost, and this comes back to not only sort of change and that side of things, but also like your stakeholder management and those vanity projects of nothing speaks louder than what the customer or what the data is telling you. Like, because we can all sit in a room and have an opinion, and everybody loves to sit in a room and have an opinion. But if you've got something in black and white in front of you, don't get me wrong, it doesn't always work. You can still sit there and go, no, we're doing this. But at least you have a chance of swaying it and changing it. And then, having, that I have on multiple occasions gone, do you know what? We're going to take it away and we'll do a bit more discovery when we've got through these things. And then, some new tech might have come out or something in the market might have changed, and maybe it will be viable then, but it's just not viable right now. And being able to sort of have a safe way of somebody not feeling like a total idiot when you go, it's a terrible idea, and your customer is telling you it's a terrible idea, so you just need to let it go. A nice way for them to get out of that situation, I think, is always helpful, managing those egos.
While Justine masters the art of using data to influence decisions, our next guest, Anna Peterson, has created an entire menu of customer feedback programs. Anna, what's on the menu when it comes to building voice of the customer programs?
I have really enjoyed building out the Voice of Customer program that we have. I would say that before we had product ops owning that, it just was very disparate, meaning that there wasn't a central Voice of Customer program. Our Voice of Customer program was our product teams are going and trying to connect with our customers. And so we've actually built a structure for that. So making sure that we are reaching out to our customers in a consistent way. So making sure that our asks are more clear. We have different programs for different needs. So we have our kind of panel programs, so our group of opted-in customers who want to give feedback. And so we use that group a lot for our just kind of interviews, usability testing, that kind of thing. But we also have a ride-along program where our particular customers are folks in the trades. So it might be your plumber, electrician. That's a really hard thing for our product teams to fully understand. What is that job that person needs to do? We can see their usage through tools like full story or amplitude session replay type of tools of what they're doing in the product. But at the end of the day, we don't know what they're trying to do. Like, how are they engaging with their customer? How do you understand what it takes to build in a quote for a water heater? Those are things that you get on the job. And so we have our ride-along program, which is intended not to get specific insights on your particular feature that you might work on, but to get a holistic understanding of that person's business and what are they trying to do? How do they work and operate? What are the tools that they're using that we don't see in the platform? And I think that we've gotten a lot of great insights from that, both on the overall platform that we want to build, but also seeing our product managers and product designers go on a ride along and learn so much more about our platform as well, because they're being talked to about every single other feature that our customer is engaging with. And so I think that's a really great thing that we built for our particular voice of customer program. Is it going to work everywhere? No, it might not. Your job to be done might not make sense, but for us it does. And it's built a lot of great value. And so we really started with, okay, what are our different programs? How do we build those out? And then our next stage has been, okay, how do we then share out all of the learnings across all of the different pieces of feedback to our product teams in a consolidated way that incorporates our interviews. It incorporates what we learned on the ride-alongs. We use an AI tool to aggregate customer feedback across our Facebook platforms and things like that, or across all of our platforms that we get data. So that's like Intercom, Facebook, NPS, all that good stuff. We put it all into one place and aggregate the themes. So what are we hearing from our customers on a regular basis? And so we put all that together into a monthly package that we can send out to not only our product teams, but to our business of what are we hearing from our customers as well. And so I think that's been something that's been really great. And now we're trying to impact roadmap too. Definitely not trying to say we're taking over a product manager's job of what's on the roadmap, but we can help them understand what are the top things that our customers are talking about. And so that they can make informed decisions on what's important on the roadmap. It's been really fun to build and bring that voice of customer program to life in a really scalable way.
And to complete our masterclass, Giancarlo Herrera shows us how to balance the complex flavors of both internal and external customer needs. Giancarlo, help us understand.
I think that's a vital component for the role. It's important to have a clear understanding of what the customer is after. In my case, as an example, the customer represents two separate entities. You have an external client who's the one coming in wanting a loan or a line of credit. But then other customers that I have are internal customers, such as business partners that I work closely with, or frontline bankers that are actually having interactions with our external clients. So to me, it is vital that the voice of the customer system functions correctly by gathering their input, analyzing it, and collectively have a better understanding in terms of what both internal and external customers are in need of. That's where we can identify what areas we need to focus our attention to and what we need to do to address them. So our product group recently developed an intelligence group. So these are individuals that are going outside and purposely looking for intelligence, right, that they can bring in to our product owners so that they can function in a better capacity. From a product ops perspective, I would say we look at that feedback that is provided, and because we have a clear visibility into the processes, and perhaps we identified or we have better eyesight in terms of what is more important in our current capacity, I would come into my product manager and tell him like, hey, these are some pieces of feedback that I think should be looked at further sooner rather than later. These are pieces of intelligence that have been collected, and these are great ideas that customers are bringing in to us for us to be able to enhance whatever it is that it needs to be corrected, if that makes sense. So whether it is a feature or whether it is a modification to our product, what we want to do is we want to make sure that we are proactively coming in to the product manager with awareness of all of the data that has been collected and being able to feed it to the individual, right, in a way where it's more prioritized. Similarly to voice of the customer, we want to make sure that we're in tune with the internal voice of the customer, and having those trusted relationships and nurturing those trusted relationships is vital so that we can receive candid feedback, consistent feedback.
Just as a master chef never stops tasting and refining their dishes, exceptional product leaders never stop gathering and acting on customer insights. Your Voice of the Customer program isn't just another process. It's your signature dish, the one that'll make your product career truly memorable. And just like every great chef needs the right tools in the kitchen, product leaders need the right platform to master customer insights. That's why for over a decade, customer-centric organizations like Zoom, Salesforce, and Autodesk have trusted Product Board to help them build better products. Next steps. In order to transform your customer feedback, check out Product Board's new AI-powered Pulse feature. It's fantastic. And also, connect with our guests on LinkedIn to learn more about their customer journeys with the voice of the customer, and join us in the product team success community where we help you master these essential skills. Remember, the best product leaders, like the best chefs, know that success starts with understanding what your customers truly crave. Having the right tools makes all the difference, from gathering feedback to planning roadmaps and aligning stakeholders, all in one source of truth. So from me, Ross Webb, until next time, keep cooking up success.